respect here.
Sir Michael, a man of many titles, he was father, grandfather and great-grandfather. As a tribal leader, he was Sana, the peacemaker, his influence and his reputation extending beyond Papua New Guinea's borders to the Pacific and other parts of the region. With his passing at 84, Sir Michael Somare has left an incredible legacy. 49 years in politics, a total of 17 years as Prime Minister, spread out over 3 terms. The state of Papua New Guinea bestowed upon him the title of Grand Chief in later years. In ordinary earliest years of his leadership, his family had to share their father with the rest of Papua New Guinea. And just after midnight, the eldest of the Somare clan, Bertha, sent out a statement announcing their father's passing. She said Sir Michael was a loyal husband and father, and that they were endeared that many Papua New Guineans equally embraced Sir Michael as a father and grandfather. The Grand Chief was diagnosed with late-stage pancreatic cancer and was admitted to hospital on the 19th of February. Michael Somare was born in Rabaul, East New Britain on April 9, 1936. His father, Ludwig Somare, was one of the first policemen in the colonial territory. He attended high school in Finschhafen, Morobe province, and later went on to work as a teacher and broadcaster. During the 1960s, the young Michael Somare became increasingly dissatisfied with Australian colonial rule and the racial discrimination. He and other like-minded people began pushing for independence. He attributed his entry into politics to the former Maprik MP, firebrand politician Sir Peter Luce. In 1972, during an era that saw a strong push for decolonization worldwide, Michael Somare was elected Chief Minister. 3 years later, in 1975, he led the country to independence when he became Papua New Guinea's first Prime Minister. Sir Michael was a pivotal uniting force in a very fragmented country. He was able to bring together the 4 regions and people who spoke close to 1,000 different languages. A multitude of tribes, some of whom were forced to transition from the Stone Age into the age of artificial intelligence in less than half a century. In politics, Sir Michael was a master tactician, highly skilled in managing volatile political landscapes on multiple fronts. He survived many instances of political turmoil and retired in 2017. As a regional leader, Sir Michael was the longest serving, in many instances seeing the sons of those he served with take on leadership reins. And while Papua New Guineans have accepted that this day would come, many are still coming to terms with the news. Scott Waide, National EMTV News.
As we're not aware of his presence, and after the team met the Grand Chief, he passed on a commemorative award to mark 50 games for the Hunters, a feat achieved by the captain, Moses Maninga. The Hunters captain was grateful that Sir Michael Somare was the one to hand him this award.
Grand Chief Sir Michael Somare, I'm so honored to receive this award from you. As a father of the nation, as a Grand Chief. This is
Sukina National EMTV Sports.
It was a hero's welcome that awaited Sir Michael as he descended the chartered flight that took him to Riga this Thursday. After inspecting a guard of honor provided by the 2R PIR, he left on a convoy headed for the stadium that is named after him. At the stadium, the hero's welcome continued as Sir Michael was brought to the podium for speeches to begin. The formalities of the day were performed by school children. While paying respect to Sir Michael, Maprik MP and Deputy Speaker John Simon also paid homage to Sir Peter Luce.
Magi Maprik, kisi magi murki kola posmi. Now time will finish. Magi Maprik to soli mas kisimen kapeke. Na chapter ko Sir Michael by complete. Sabas narlo manik kisimen gam. I'm going on a complete good.
Sir Michael had nothing but love and gratitude for a province that has been faithful to him as a politician.
Thank you, Naona. Ang family from Europe. All the man married or Tunguna or Bubu before. Only Philip Lomi, only put him in some parliament. This is a Ruru Lomi plan, Masigo, long thank you, all the man married. Long Bubla Passin, you like keeping me long time of parliament. Now, when we come back, I'm Mr. Patayula, or some member of my pretty top minister. Kami come out to me na sila place pro parliament na simi kapek na place. Kami kapek na place now. Pamilo give you no one. No one tabi give you no. Stop long government yung puti minister long for sa prime minister people. No 1972. Ikam no 77. 1977 going up long 2011. And only voting me long for no conference again na come out. That's all. All money sabi to. You will around si Memea. People are blessing the top houseman. We long desperate as well. People thank you. I'm going to bless you, bro.
Sarah Aupong, National EMTV News.
My home and my country.
It was a bright sunny morning in Kavieng yesterday as the town was decked out to receive the Grand Chief on a chartered flight from Wewak. From the plane and met by New Island Governor Sir Julius Chan, a traditional welcome was waiting. From the airport to the center of town, students, men, women and children lined the streets waving flags and calling out well wishes to the man many of whom have only seen in pictures and on television. Students from all the province's schools greeted the Grand Chief as he stopped for a short rest before the day's program. Three different chieftain titles were given to the Grand Chief. In true New Island custom, the role of Lady Veronica and Lady Stella Chan was also recognized. But when the two most important men of the moment stood up to speak, it was a lesson in history.
For we have been through much. We share many memories. We were both elected to the Second House of Assembly in 1968. We have known each other for more than 50 years. What a journey it has been.
From the pair who led this new country, Papua New Guinea,
the memories that will never fade are the 2 days in September 1975. The voice of the Governor General, Sir John Guise, on the radio at 1 minute past midnight on September 15, 1975, and said Papua New Guinea is now independent. The constitution of the independent state of Papua New Guinea is now in effect. Let us unite with the Almighty God's guidance and help in working together a future as a strong and free country. At sunrise, the next morning, 16 September 1975, I remember, the Australian flag was lowered and the flag of the independent state of Papua New Guinea was raised by the PNG Defence Force. Sir Michael, we stood together, witnessing the birth of our country. watching the flag of our country flying in the free sky of Papua New Guinea.
The Grand Chief, direct and in talk visit, spoke from his heart.
All in a family from New Island. Like me, sabi, mami express mo sa manem. Atomas long, may kamaplong here long, 1957 or siyang platicha. Tingol sem, walang kain pleso sem. So stop lamin na milukin mo sem, masin, at ting-ting playupla, custom playupla, tradition playupla, tanim bell. Ayupla tanim bell, tanim bell ta solve long me, wala tanim bell long all family lamin na, all people lamin long isipin.
In acknowledging his host and the important role he also played,
Mani sabi to, kalim nemplami. Tasolo lino tok sabi, or sem bibinggal kurpla, advisor, sanap lompak side lomi. Kiki mas plami na tok no, you don't go working mo sem, you must working mo sem. Long right honorable St. Julius Chan. Member of Layupla, Lana Matray, before, now regional member of Layumi.
And as is tradition with the Grand Chief, an insight and comparison of the value of politics and politicians today.
Today, you play looking politics from today. Narakain. All money come long, precis. Mit play is enough. Yes, mit play ko lang. 1 house na mit play yan. I'm long PPP na milang pango. Mit play working house differently. That's all passing na soy custom na tradition. Constitution of Papua New Guinea people working. The constitution people writing, people bring all the people from Papua New Guinea together. Now today in New Island, we make him this celebration. We mark him, mark and mark. Long, mitbala, stop one time now. Make him this country. Today, you can go all the map, all the talk on them, all the up, all the talking. What is usat Papua New Guinea?
But finally, the reason why many call him Papa, Chief, Sana, and now Mekmoon, is gratitude for all who had made the long journey to Kaving to farewell him.
Smartin, our teachers, welcome him like giving me. You put him this red carpet treatment. Like giving me, you don't have to lose your
Neville Choi, National EMTV News.
Doing something special. This in preparation for the farewell of PNG's first Prime Minister, who took office on September 16, 1975.
A lot of people in this country don't, well, we wouldn't be able to do it. They were talking in terms of 2 or 3 decades, while I was talking in terms of a few years.
The Grand Chief has been at the helm of PNG's government on 5 different occasions, spanning 17 years. His last stint ended prematurely in 2000. Regionally, he also made history as one of the founding fathers of the Melanesian Spearhead Group. And as a politician who has spanned nearly 50 years, he is the longest-serving politician in the Commonwealth, which consists of 52 countries, including former colonizers Australia and the United Kingdom. Tomorrow is expected to be the start of a host of activities to farewell the icon that is Grand Chief Sir Michael Somare. Sarah Aupong, National EMTV News.
Governor General's appointment boiled after Sir Michael realized the Attorney General Minister's absence and determined today
including the announcement by Prime Minister Peter O'Neill. The disappointed father of the nation claimed the ruling government had misused the constitution's provisions by appointing the Attorney General Ano Pala as acting Governor General.
You look into the provincial, he talk was him. Governor General, time he go outside. Speaker, he must come up. Chief Justice is stop. Speaker must go come up, Governor General. Why? You are misusing the provincial law.
We caught up with the Grand Chief on a rare occasion when he was not in the middle of a crowd. It was a quiet visit in his office, the last he will occupy in the National Parliament as he exits active politics after 49 years.
Minister, yes. When the question is asked of me, I said, Mr. Toki Morrison, why by me answering you? Give me one good reason. Unless I'm given a good reason, then I'll do it.
His identity as someone of stature did not waver in the face of colonialism. This sense of pride and identity spurred him on to find a different path from his school teacher training.
When I came to Legislative Council, I said to myself, I can be a member of a Legislative Council. Because I understand white man's understanding, and I got an education equivalent to some of these white people. Why should I waste my time then? I should run for Parliament. So that what motivated me. I saw some Papua New Guineans, and Peter Luce, we always admire him. He was one example of someone who didn't get the formal education, who could stand up and debate and make contribution to the debates in Parliament. And I admire him for that one year. And there were other educated people who were there. But when you look at it, Sir Peter, of all our people, when you talk about Papua New Guinea, or the top people of Papua New Guinea, or primitive man in the south or something, that old fella was smart.
The Grand Chief says a strong factor in his political life and in surviving nearly 50 years in politics are his customary values.
Bisa bianin tradition belum ipla, custom belum ipla. Nah, one kind pasin ni style ng government meeting also. Ini mas show him example. Dan meliang kelemahan Amerika, belum mas bianin sila pasin belum doktor, pasin belum gopas belum tingting, pasin belum singal timur manika. Des belum pasin belum ini belum tunggu na istirahat demi nami. So I'll make him the law of me working now. We've been successful long end, you know, 50 years. That's very long time, you know. Yeah.
Not bad at all.
Yeah.
Sarah Aupong, National EMTV News. Grand Chief Sir Michael Somare calls for all walks of life to have discipline. This was his message yesterday at the 44th Independence Celebration at Walum, Imbongu in Southern Highlands Province. The Grand Chief has a fond history with the people of Imbongu when he has visited the district in his early political career to nominate Imbongu MP Pila Niningi under Pangu Party. He was told to choose a location for the district office to be built after more than 25 years, and Grand Chief Sir Michael Somare was surprised the Imbongu district office was built on the location he had jokingly chosen decades ago. Grand Chief Sir Michael encouraged the leaders of Southern Highlands and Hela provinces to make use of the oil and gas minerals in the area and use the money for development. The Grand Chief also called for Papua New Guineans to stand in solidarity and work together for the betterment of the country.